Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Backstick Podcast. So, as you can see or hear, it's just me today. It's just Jamil. And just before we kick off this one, I just wanted to give you guys a quick message. First and foremost, we haven't put an episode out for last week. To be open and honest with you guys, life just gets in the way sometimes. We've all got stuff going on. And it's been a very busy couple of weeks for myself and Dom. So we apologise for that. So what we've done this week to make sure that we get something to you is we've pulled together some of the best bits, some of your favourite moments from, the first 22, 23 episodes of the show. With that being said, can't thank you guys enough for the love, for the support, for the interactions, for everything so far. It's been a fun journey so far, and long may it continue. We're looking forward to it, and I hope you are as well. So yeah, this one's just, some of your favourite moments behind the scenes, a couple of unseen bits as well, which, I hope you all look forward to getting your ears around. But just wanted to come on and say, firstly, thank you for everything up to this point. We will be back next week with some very exciting guests coming up. We've just got to catch up on our end because, as I said before, everyone gets busy. But no excuses. And yeah. We hope you enjoy this one, and as always, we'll see you next week. Yeah, that one, it always confused me, and me and Dom were kind of talking off air when, I mentioned to him that me and you were chatting about getting on the pod, and Dom's actually very familiar with you as a player from playing for West Virginia United when you were in your when you were in your Dutch Lions days.
Alright, cool.
I'll pass it back to Dom.
Let's just get. So obviously, like,
what have you got for me, Dom?
I was only joking at the beginning of the podcast when I was getting onto you about Arsenal and that. So just please take pity. But alright, cool. So basically, this is the year that me and Jam met. So it's 2019 summer.
Yeah.
So it's the end of my senior year. I've basically spent January to May. I've got a house in West Virginia on campus with 7 other boys.
Okay.
And we're just getting on it 4 times a week. So you can tell the kind of condition I've come into the USL season with. So anyway, I'm playing under Dan Smith at West Virginia United. I think for the first time in maybe 3 seasons, I'm playing centre mid. And we're playing against the Dutch Lions, so you boys. So you were playing, and I can't remember, there was another guy. I think he was from New Zealand as well, a winger.
Yeah,
long hair, had a headband.
Yeah. Conor Probert.
These man are just running riot. I can't even get anywhere near them. I'm trying to body man. I'm bouncing off them. I'm trying to clamp them. They're just skipping challenges. I'm like, oh my God, I'm miles off it. So then when he sent me the this is who we're going to be interviewing, I was like, oh, I know this guy. This guy is the one that embarrassed me in Cincinnati. It's the same runner. I just remember you as a good player, tidy touch and very sharp. Very, very sharp. Very, very sharp.
I actually remember that was the first game of the season, bro. So we didn't know what to expect, but it was me, Conor Probert, the guy you're talking about, and another boy, Alex Willis from NKU. And we all he's a striker, Willis, and Conor was on the wing, and I was a 10. And yeah, I think we linked up really well that day.
Yeah, we got moved to, man. Yeah, we got moved
to. Am I right in thinking that Greive, at one point when you fouled him, you said, "Do you just want my shirt?"
Yeah, bro. I can't get near the guy, bro. So
I would never say anything like that, bro.
I'm just clutching at everything. I'm 2 seconds late to every tackle. My touch is coming off my ankle bone. I'm just sloppy this whole game. And I remember, I think you've done a little turn in the midfield. I'm 2 seconds late, so I'm just grabbing your shirt and I'm just holding on to you. And I've just held you, professional foul, whatever, slow the game down. And you're just going, bro, do you just want to take my shirt home? I was like, yeah, fair. I didn't say anything. I just got in position. I didn't say anything.
No, I would never have said that, bro.
I need to catch my breath. I ain't got time for banter.
Not me,
Not me, bro. Not me. That would have been Conor, to be fair. He'd say something like
that. Mate,
hilarious.
Is Conor still playing? Because I always thought he was a player as well, man.
Oh, bro, I always say that year for Dutch Lions and for NKU, He was so good, man. And then he's still playing now. He's playing in New Zealand, like similar to what you'd be playing in the NPL in Aussie in New Zealand.
Yeah.
I think he's got a pretty good job, and he's getting married now as well, so he's pretty settled down, I think. But yeah, that year, mate, I still think one of the best players I've played with for sure.
Yeah, no, he was. Do you know what? Like, he was so like, he was one of them where, like, he was really good at dribbling, but he was big as well. Like, he was strong as fuck, and like, it profile wise, he had everything. To make it as a winger.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
It just always baffled me that he never did, like, in the US anyway. But again, that maybe goes back to, like, you guys just maybe didn't have, like, the platform at NKU that maybe you deserve, because I know Alex ended up going on to Charlotte as well, right?
Yeah,
and that was just, I don't know how the gaffer down there got all you boys in one team as well is just ridiculous.
I know. We honestly we had such a good team at NKU, but we just never actually produced, and like we didn't make the conference tournament once in 3 years.
Yeah, see, that's just fucking mental.
That's
mate. Like,
criminal,
some of the
mate.
players you had.
Yeah, I know. I still can't wrap my head around it.
Like a nice stadium as well, like good pitch. Like you had everything needed. I don't know what wasn't clicking, but from the outside looking in, like I remember it was always one of our hardest games when we'd come play you or you come to us. Like, and we had a decent team, but like it was like bloody hell. Like we could never believe it at the end of the season that you boys fell off, or like some of the results we'd see, because it's like, well, that's not the team we fucking played against. They only turn up when they play against us.
No, literally, we actually did though. We had some feisty games against Marshall. I remember they were always really good.
Yeah, well, I think when you put like a couple of, you know, when you mix in, because obviously you had Alex Willis, Bruce as well. You had obviously yourself, Connor, and then like we had Gianni at the time, and then like you went to you guys, you know, and we had a couple other English boys. I think when you mix all of that together, like on a pitch, like it's gonna like come to blows from time to time. The thing is, I think all of us kind of knew that we would be mates as well. Like especially when Gianni hopped over from Marshall to you guys. Like I think that was like I already had a kind of an idea, and once G was like kind of filtering back to me, like, nah, these are actually really good lads. Like I sort of like knew from then on anyway. So
that's nice of Gianni saying good things about us, I'd hope.
Yeah. Feel free to say something back, mate. All right, moving on. All right. Well, I guess we'll get into sort of the meat and gravy of it. What especially I know the Marshall fans out there will want to hear from sort of more of an insider perspective. So obviously, just coming off the 2024 season, you boys had one hell of a run. I think I think you were unlucky not to win the whole thing, but even to get to the position you did, I think every alumni, first and foremost, and every Marshall fan out there couldn't be prouder of the run that you had. And I think it'd be better if, you know, we kind of chime in every now and then, but kind of just talk us through game by game. Obviously, you come off the WVU game, and then you go on after that into the tournament, and then so remind me who was the first game in, I'm talking NCAA tournament, not the conference tournament, but remind me who was the first team that you played against there?
Furman.
Yeah, so you had a seed, and how many home games did you end up getting? Was it the first two?
First two, but it was Furman or UNC. So we were like, shit, we're gonna play UNC in the first round, and I mean, that in itself is like, there's no way I'm gonna end my college career in the first round of national tournament. So that was like, I can't lie, that was in the back of my mind. And then we went Furman, then we beat NC State, who beat Georgetown to get there, and we thought we were gonna go away to Georgetown, which I kind of wanted because they're a good seed. They were a lot better when you played, Jamil, but the last 2 years they haven't been too good, and I thought they were quite generous with the high seeding, so I wanted to go there and beat them, because I know you guys went there, right? And it was tough, no?
Yeah, that was in our day. That was the toughest game of our run. That Georgetown team had a lot of talent, and they won the whole thing the year before, so they had a lot of returners. But I know the coach down there historically has played good football as well. So I think he very similar to Chris in that they look to play football as opposed to college ball.
Yeah. So it was those all NC State. NC State won. Really good team, good like physical team, and we managed to get through them. And then you're kind of starting to map your way through the tournament. You know, everyone's saying a game at a time, but I mean, everyone's mapping their route and seeing who we're going to play next. And then we had SMU away, that was something, man. I don't know if you watched the game, but it got postponed the day before. And then we had it the next day. Probably the scrap, that reminded me of back home playing like Sunday football, like just stoppage every couple minutes, people dive on the floor, like fouls, everything. The game, I swear, the game felt like it was 200 minutes because it got stopped every other minute. And managed to get through them, and then we're in the College Cup, and I think Ohio State smashed it this year. Like, credit to them, number 1 seed, they did really well. The left winger they got is proper player, won the Matt Carman. But we played them every spring in my 4 years, and they never got near us, never gave us a problem. And their team was exactly the same. So we're thinking, like, I'm telling the boys, like, look, number 1 seed, but we played them before, and it's the same kind of team. So let's not give them too much respect. Like, we know how good we are. So let's go match it. And then, yeah, man, the College Cup special. It's like a whole different tournament. And, you know, credit to the guys at NCAA. They do the things well. And the College Cup was definitely special. And I always knew we were going to beat Ohio State. You know, as I said, we beat them a couple times in the spring. And I felt like if we got a goal, they wouldn't score. And I don't know if you've seen the goal, straight from a goal kick, pretty direct. Not really what Chris is known for,
finally
but
getting on the,
you know,
finally getting on the score sheet.
Finally, man. We always tell him, like, save your goals for the end of the season. That's okay, you know. Credit to him. He took it on the chin.
Just to kind of interject there, Dom. So I kind of like alluded to earlier on that. So I went back and I visited the boys like towards the back end of the season, and I actually trained the day before they played WVU. And after training, like me and like 4 or 5 of the lads, we just stayed behind and we just did some shooting after. And Tarek was one of them. And I obviously I don't know. This is the first time I've met most of the boys. But yeah, they the lads were just bantering the kid, like, because he kept scoring in the shooting. And they were saying, like, Tarek, why can't you just do this on a Saturday? And then that's why like I was actually so buzzing when I saw that he scored, because like I'd seen it firsthand. The lad's absolutely hammering him.
Mate, he deserved it, mate. He deserved it.
Yeah, he's a good player, man. He works his arse off as well.
He does. And he came from ETSU and got top goal scorer the last 2 years. So we all knew he could score goals. It was just getting the first one in, and then, you know, you knew the rest were going to come. So, and the guy got assists for us for days. So he gave us something. So credit to him. He kept working hard, and he got the goal when it really mattered. We beat Ohio State, and then, bro, Vermont is unseeded. So you go into that game thinking we weren't complacent at all. Like, there's not one part of me that thinks we were complacent, but we were confident. We knew it was our time now, and we don't really talk too much about the regular season, but that was all forgotten about. Like, postseason, we hadn't lost to a team since September. We lost some penalties. We lost, we lost some pens, and that was it. We hadn't lost it since September. So we kind of had this invincibility about us, you could say. And, we knew that, we have Lineker up top, we have Tariq there, we have Haruri who was coming in, and this guy is special. Like, watch out for him the next couple of years. I'm sure he'll tear it up. And we knew if we scored, then we would be just fine, because we've been holding on to leads really well. And, the difference between this team and Marshall and maybe years before is we probably didn't have the quality to play exactly how Chris wanted last year, because we lost some really good players. But we were okay with that, and we were okay with mixing it up and playing a bit direct when we had to, and a bit low risk. And that was a problem in regular season we were trying to play martial football, and we didn't really have the martial players, if that makes sense. Not to dig anyone out, but it just wasn't clicking. Like we were trying to bounce off the six from the keeper and do all this fancy stuff, and teams were pouncing on the errors, and we were conceding way too many goals. And then there was a shift where we went more direct. We played more in the opposition half, and we cut down the errors, and it was a different team, bro. Like I probably had more possession in every single game in my martial career up until the last 4 or 5 games of the season when it really mattered, and that kind of shows like how we just changed, adapted. There's nothing wrong with going long and playing like that. We just adapted to the players we had, and it worked, bro. It's bittersweet talking about the final and everything that happened, because we did do really well, but I mean finals are there to be won, so definitely bittersweet, but proud of the boys, because honestly that team in September and October, I was like, there's no way my college career is going to finish like this. And you know how it is as an international, your last year, you got to kill it. And I know all the boys are thinking the same, like if we just bomb out like this, no one's talking about us, our names aren't out there, it's going to be tough to find a team. So credit to the boys, we stuck together, and we went through some tough patches. The Georgia State game, I don't know if you know what happened in the Georgia State game, but that was a low point in the season. We were 2 goals up with 5 minutes to play away at Georgia State. We shipped 2 goals in 3-4 minutes. That can't happen, and that was a low point. But sometimes you need those low points to learn some more about the team, and it helped us in the long run. So it all happened for a reason.
Yeah, mate. I think you've talked us through it perfectly. Yeah, to be honest, because I think you were very, very real about it as well, if I'm being truthful, because, I mean, I alluded to at the beginning there that, I personally never expected this from the group. Not that I didn't think it was a talented group. I just, from what I'd seen throughout the year, there was just errors. There were, they were unforced, that were uncharacteristic of the players that were in the team. I knew what these players were capable of. I've watched you all play. But it was like uncharacteristic. So, one thing that you said there, which, for the listeners that aren't familiar, or maybe for lads that want to go to college or just fans of college soccer, you talk about playing the martial way. So what is that? What is that? That style, that sort of thing that's become what Marshall's known for now, that Chris has embedded. So just talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, Chris and Josh have done a great job with really implementing the style, and Marshall's known for this. Even some of the coaches I've spoken to in the championship and everything, they know Marshall, and they know what we're about. I would describe it as high possession. He wants a lot of control, and I think a good line that I always take from Chris is 95-5. If you can play 95% of the time, let's play. If it's 5%, let's not play. So I mean, that's kind of how much he valued playing with the ball. And everything that comes with it, counter-pressing. That counter-pressing was a big thing for me, because you think as a centre-back, when you're up the field, you got them in their own half, you can kind of relax. But, bro, Chris wanted you on the striker, so as soon as the ball's turned over, you're there, and we can win the ball back again. And then small things like that, waiting. I mean, my girlfriend watches the games, and she was pulling her hair out watching us play last season, because we would stand on the ball and wait for the team to come to us. And it's just like, it's almost insulting, we're 3-4-0 up, and we're not going to pass the ball until you come get the ball. So last season especially was martial football. The way we played, we had 60-70% possession all the time. He compared it to Brighton, like he did a lot of stuff on De Zerbi and how De Zerbi wanted to play. It was like a 4-4-2 box midfield, and the patterns were all very planned out. Everything we had was a pattern from the training ground. There wasn't any freestyle stuff until maybe you got into the final third, and it was winger 1v1. But everything to get to that moment is a pattern that you've done. If the winger closes you from this side, you're going to bounce through the six. Like, everything was a pattern. And it was hard because you had to really pay attention in video. And video is long, man. Video is long. I'm not going to miss that, bro. That was 1 hour. Yeah, bro.
Chris,
1 hour and a half every morning.
Sessions, man.
No,
Get your
Josh
cup of
is
tea,
actually
get
the
comfortable
biggest
and
culprit, bro.
sit there
Oh,
and
yeah.
listen.
I don't know if you had any in your day, but we had a couple snoozes, bro. And when Chris catches you out sleeping, bro, you didn't have any in your day. Oh, bro, we had a couple.
I mean, Milo must have at some point, but other than that, I don't know.
Yeah. I remember Milo used to come in and put his hood really high up. I kind of like put his head like this so he couldn't really see his eyes or not. And I know he was definitely sleeping after, you know.
Yeah, living the dream.
This is actually a good question I had. So if you had to say you play like one player, and it can be a current player, it can be a previous player, who would you say you play like? Just so I got a vision of what kind of football.
Oh, that's brutal, mate. I don't know.
And it's all right. You can be. You don't. Like, it doesn't need to be like exact. It's fine. Like you can say Rio.
Nobody wants to be that
JT,
guy. Though,
like, it's fine.
I'm literally I'm Rio Ferdinand. Like good luck.
Stylistically.
Yeah, right.
Stylistically.
Stylistically, honestly, hard to say. It really is. I'm trying to think of lanky centre halves. You're like,
All right, I'll put Jam on the spot then. Jam, who does he play like?
yeah.
Do you know what? He's a really good blend of the old school and the new school. You know, he ticks the boxes first and foremost. He's no nonsense, like I said before. He heads it, he kicks it, he shouts.
Do that. Yeah.
But what surprised me is he can step into the middle. So I would say he's like a poor man's John Stones.
Okay,
I'll take that.
Okay.
That seems fair. Yeah.
You know, obviously, no, I don't think anyone in USL 1's claiming to be that level. But if you I don't think there's many centre halves that I've seen in USL 1 that can comfortably step and do both roles and do the whole. You know, I mentioned the captain thing earlier on. He's massive voice on the pitch, massive leader as well. Someone that's massive, you know, really valuable. And I like when I play next to him as well as a part of a back four. So. Yeah, I think I'll go with poor man's John Stones there.
I tear up here, Jams. That was my cue. Thanks, man.
Well, while we're here then, obviously I know Jam from our time at West Virginia together, but who would you say he plays like? Since he's done it for you, who would you say he plays like?
Oof. That's tough, you know. I'm just trying to picture left backs who love a cross. Solid. Man. Leighton Baines? Might give him Leighton Baines.
I'm taking that all day long, and
I think
you're
that's a
not
good
allowed to
shout,
go
actually.
back on it.
I think that's a pretty good. Now, would I ever let you near a free kick? No. But other than that,
yeah, that's good. I like that.
corner,
I'll
yeah.
trust me, mate.
Get him on corners. Get him on corners.
I'm not in the queue for free kicks, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'll take that, though. I appreciate that, mate.
No, I think that's fair, actually. I'll back that. Yeah.
Probably a bit more pace than Leighton Baines, though. That's the
Oh,
only
mate,
thing
you
I
haven't
would
seen
say.
me play in a few years.
You're saying you're Cartles now, yeah?
I did me hammy in college, mate, and I've never been the same. It was after we played together.
Right. Fair.
Oh, God. I'll take Baines, though. Do you know what? That's a left back. Him and Ashley Cole. Those are me two growing up. So I'll take that.
Okay. Nah.
It was your idol growing up. Actually, I'll put that to both
Me?
of you. Start with Deck. Yeah, it was your idol.
I'd say if I had to pick
In
one, I'd say
football.
like, yeah, I appreciate that. I was gonna go with football actually. I would say Richard Dunn. Do you remember Richard Dunn?
Yeah, of course.
Big Irish centre half. He was just class. Watching him play for Ireland, especially, proper warrior. Loved him. Yeah.
By yourself, Dom.
I've got a few that I really liked. Like obviously, if you're talking at top level, like a Zidane, someone like that. But a player that I really
Can
liked.
see
and
by
it's
the
probably-
playing style.
Yeah, but the player I really liked though was and this is a weird one, but it's because I was at the academy when he was there in the first team. Is Tom Huddleston. So like I was a centre midfielder, and technically just watching him, like we see him at the training ground sometimes, but like left and right foot, the technique was just like embarrassingly good.
He was a joke, to be fair.
So I would say it's a weird one, but Tom Huddleston and Zidane, which is weird to put them
Mate,
in
do
the
you know
same
what?
sentence.
That's a player that I wouldn't have even thought of there. And
What about yours?
My best mate's a Tottenham fan, and he always, I mean, he used to bang on about Tom Huddleston all the time.
Disconnected
And then
here,
you've got,
lads. Don't know if you can
you know
still
when like
hear
the
me.
Barclaysman stuff was coming out on Twitter, and you see
yeah.
like he's one of them coming out like off. Absolute disgrace.
The technique is stupid. What about yours though? What would you say? Because obviously you was a left back growing up, left back, left mid. So you said Cole, you said Baines. Is there anyone else?
Bex.
Technique joke.
Yeah, Beck's 100%. I think Beck's overall, like I ever since I can remember, ever since I began watching football, my dad was a United fan, and he's the same. I think he was born in '74, so he would have been, a teenager watching Beck's as a teenager coming through the academy and that. And he just, put me on United straight away. And it was one of my first memories in football, actually, was when we sold him to Real Madrid. And I was heartbroken. But it didn't work out too badly because we got Ronaldo, obviously. But yeah, like just everything about him, mate. And then in terms of position specific, I was ever since I signed for Portsmouth, it was left back for me. So it was Cole and Baines. Cole defensively, and I love Baines going forward. These are just quick fire, mate. You can go into as much detail as you want. But the first one is who's the best player that you've played with in your whole career?
Best. I guess that for me, that question's weird because there's trained with and played with. Like, our class played with, like, I was in the team with them week in, week out sort of thing. But, like, I guess Harry Kane, if I'm going to do that, Harry Kane, like, best
Not
player
bad.
I've, like, trained with, like, played with, whatever.
I'd have him at Chattanooga.
Academy level, I played with some crazy players. It's, like, really nasty players. But I'd say probably, like, Marcus Edwards, he was a joke growing up,
Yeah.
still is now, sort
Poch
of
called
thing.
him Messi, like, didn't he?
Yeah, like, he wasn't wrong to, like,
Yeah.
like, generally, like, really nasty, like.
Sick.
But yeah,
So maybe that leads us on to the best player that you've played against in your career.
against, this is a hard one. A very, very hard one. I don't really remember players that too tough that I played against.
Let's maybe go not necessarily like on the day.
Oh, no,
But-
I'm being silly. I'm forgetting them Youth Cup games.
Mm-hmm.
We got touched a few of them. Youth Cup times. Callum Hudson-Odoi was he was playing up, by the way. What he was doing was he was violating still. He was violating still. Playing up was crazy. I played against Foden. He was good.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy that some of these players I'm mentioning, I guess maybe at the time there was like maybe better players than them in the team, which is weird to even say that.
Yeah.
That there was more feared players than that Foden at the time when I was playing against him, sort of thing.
Wow.
Which is crazy to say. Not all of them are even. I'm still playing at that. A lot of them are, but just off names, I say Foden, Reece James. Reece James is really good at just growing up. Just like could do everything. Mason Mount was really good growing up as well.
Yeah.
Still is now, but like a lot of the Chelsea players, Chelsea just
Yeah.
Mad Academy.
a joke.
My age group at Chelsea on my days. It was Dom
It
Solanke
was all of them. Like,
yeah, to be fair, every single one of them.
everyone's got the same trauma.
Bro,
bro.
we got pumped every week by them. Tammy Abraham was guaranteed hat-trick. Dom Solanke guaranteed hat-trick. And then, bro, I went on trial with them for 6 weeks, and it was the first time where I stepped into a change room, and I went, yeah, I'm miles off it.
Hey.
Yeah, mad.
All right, well, you've dropped a few names there, so we like that. Moving on, bit different away from the football, right? So think of you're going on a night out, and you can pick 3 teammates, past or present, to come with you. Who you picking? And I'm exempt.
Cool. That's
We weren't going to pick you anyway.
you know what? That's a hard one because even to start with, going out in America and England in like London's two different things, two different dynamics. Like, so I'm gonna do American one. I'm gonna put Jake up there.
Dengler.
Jake Dengler.
You have
Can't
to.
not mention Jake going out. I'm trying to think. He did. I just love seeing out. I'm gonna have to do Chris as well. Like,
Chris Heckenberg.
yeah. Chris and the Chris and Jake duo is crazy.
It's unmatched, isn't it? Not Nick.
Nick. I'm gonna put Nick. I hope he sees Nick's a menace. Nick's a menace. They're all menaces. I'm gonna go them three actually.
Yeah.
Them three.
Nick Okoto, Chris
Nick,
Heckenberg, Jake.
Yeah, crazy menaces. All three of them. Jake more behaved. He's a different type of menace, but yeah, that's a crazy three together.
Bro,
crazy.
What nickname did you give Chris Heckenberg throughout the year for his difference, how he was in the changing
mask.
room and the mask?
You seen the mask? Yeah. When he starts drinking, his like just turns into that. Like he's the most intelligent guy you will ever meet. Like he's so smart. Maybe I'm just an idiot, but he's
No, he is.
he's so smart. Like knows everything. Then, bam, night out, Chris, just an idiot. But like funny as hell. Just like you would never think.
Yeah.
But,
Just so quickly, Jab, before you go to the next one, quickly. Kaz, did you ever go to a place called Oceana in Watford? So the reason I'm bringing this up, is because I've got PTSD from that place, Let me tell you why I got PTSD. Because all of these, man, Kaz Sterling, flipping, Dom Solanke, Tammy Abraham, all these guys you're talking about used to be in there. So for context, Jeremy, this is just like a big bar in Watford, nightclub, and it used to be a small room.
We had Oshie's in Plymouth.
Oh, you know
well,
Oceana, yeah. So they had a room called Barcelona, which is where basically they'd play all the hip hop and R&B in this big place. It was like a small room, and all of these men that are on there like second year scholars, first year pros, just turned 18 would go there and spend all of their wages and take all the girls. So like any good looking girl that was in there, just come to our table, we play for Chelsea. Come to our table, we play for Arsenal. Come to our table, we play for Tottenham.
Yeah, it was peak.
And so man's got man just there.
Yeah.
Like, I play for my county.
It's cool. By the time I started going, it's called Prism.
Okay,
it's called Prism, but it's the same. They have to change the name, but like, same sort of dynamic. Like, but yeah, that was a spot early. Early years, that was a spot. I didn't go out till late, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't really go out like that, but when I did go out, that was definitely when everyone used to go, like, prison thing.
Yeah. Funny.
Well, I guess on the subject of nights out, in America specifically, what's the best night out or your favorite city that you've been out in the US so far?
I'd probably say Pittsburgh, because they got like a similar setup. They do like clubs and stuff. There wasn't a club in States where it's just blue room, you know. Just like there's some good nights there, 100%. But like,
it's made by the people though, not by the venue.
I'll definitely say Pittsburgh. There's a couple like clubs here. They even do like after hours as well. That proper like city, like how it'd be in London sort of thing. So
Sick.
Guess it's similar to what I know. So I really
never been out there. I need to. Dom, have you been out to Pittsburgh? Yeah.
Yeah, it's good, you know.
Also,
it's good, bro. Yeah.
There's a few clubs. Yeah, they got loads. Like they got North Shore, Southside, Enclave, places like that, Penn Society. So yeah.
Sweet. All right, mate. Last one. Back to football. So, any point in your career from when you was a kid, in the youth team, first team involvements with Tottenham, on loan, Tormentor, Pittsburgh, whole career. What's your biggest achievement, the one that you're most proud of to date?
Probably when I think about it, definitely my debut. At the time, I don't know why I kind of like...
The Champions League one?
Yeah, I kind of like, not brushed it under the rug, but like it's just like I made my debut that it don't mean anything yet, sort of thing. But like definitely that, it being at Wembley as well, in the Champions League was, I think about it, that's like quite crazy, being at the National Stadium, stuff like that. So I'd probably say definitely making my debut as well.
Yeah.
Family was there to see it as well.
Yeah, that's sick, mate.
Sick.
Yeah. So, just on that, you came on for Delhi, right?
Yeah.
So what did Poch and what did Delhi say to you before you come on?
You know what? I can't even remember. I'm assuming he said go enjoy it, something like that. But I got up to come on in the 80th minute. The ball didn't go out. I feel like this is just my luck, like, when it comes to football. The ball didn't go out of play for 8 minutes.
Mad.
8 minutes, bro. So I was on the side I was just standing there, just like, about to make my debut. I'm just like, I don't even know what's going through my head. Just like, doing just dumb shit, just like, trying to look like, trying to get the nerves out as well. I'm like, yo, we don't keep the ball like this. Like, no one's going to foul no one, not a throw in, nothing, bro. It got to the point where Michel Vaughan was in goal. He was like, telling someone that to kick the ball. Like, he saw that, telling someone to kick the ball out.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah,
I'm just like,
that.
Yeah, sick.
Well, you're 8 minutes, the ball in play, no stop, like, nothing. I'm just like, that's unreal. Well, of course that would happen to me, but yeah.
Oh,
I'm pretty
mate.
sure he said that just have fun. So, because there's 3-0 up, they had already qualified top of the league, the group stage. So it was just like, yeah, go and enjoy it.
Oh, mate, I love that.
Sick.
I can't even fathom that experience. So the fact that you got to do it and then move on over here and do what you're doing now is unbelievable. But yeah, going back to the football and just talking about the season in general, and I guess it's probably a good opportunity, like you said there, to sort of touch on. It was the first time that me and Pedro had been on the field together, not in the same uniform. And I remember the first time was in Chattanooga. Was it a cup game or a league game? I think it was a cup game.
I think it was league, and then the game we played with Purple against you guys, it was like cup. Yeah.
So it was such a weird feeling. Like it was the first, genuinely, it was the first time where I played against someone where like I had to really try to not see him as like my boy anymore. Like I had to take personal situation out of it and purely look at it as business, because like I mean, how many times we've played so many games together. We know each other as players inside out, as people inside out. We've shared so much together. So it was for me at least, it was really weird. I don't know if you felt the same way on that first time we played against each other.
No, I feel the same, Jim. Obviously, I look at you, I already wanted to chat with you because, first of all, I haven't seen you in years. And then I see you, I'm like, oh, okay, we can chat a little bit now, but then it's time you're my enemy now. So, I'm just like, okay, like, like, and I remember on the second game, on the cup game, when I was on the right side, like, close to you one time, and I knew it. I know you. I know the player you are. You came to crush me big time. I'm always here. And he just like came full power. Boom. I like jumped a little bit, got out of the way, and just started laughing because I knew he was gonna do it. This clown. No friendship there.
Mate, I'm a defender now, man. I'm hard hitting, no nonsense left back.
I love it.
Question I have, boys, like when you lot are doing the scout, are you lot hyping up a little bit more now that you know each other? So, for example, if you know Jam's playing left back, oh yeah, get him on his right foot. Or for you, Pedro, Jam, you might be like, yeah, get stuck into him. He might not fancy it, or make sure to show him on his left foot, or whatever it is. So, are you guys doing that, or you just kind of just acting as you would in any other game?
I mean, for me, it's like they do all the scouting. It's like the scouting is a lot already. The coaches like put so much stuff into the scouting and so much effort on. So like for me, I would say one thing I said to Kunga, the right winger. I told him like, Lagos, Jamil is a winger. Okay, he's a winger. I've seen him his whole life playing as a winger. Yeah, he's a good defender, but he's a winger. You have to go, mate. Go. Attack and try to dribble him. So like, but in the other side, obviously, like on the opposite side, it's like you know the player's qualities too. You know, like I know
For sure.
Gemma's qualities. I know like the balls he put in behind the defenders. I know like the power he has, like the speed he has, and like how competitive he is. So like I rather talk about like the things that he can hurt us. You know,
Yeah.
because
I
I
very
think
much.
that's what I know the most. You know.
I very much agree because so it was funny. The first game that we played this season, the way that we sort of did our scout this year, we had I guess like the first slideshow was always, like the key players to look out for on the other team, and Pedro wasn't one of them. And I was looking at, I won't name names, but there was a couple of names that were on there that I thought, I'll be real, they just weren't as much of a threat as Pedro was, especially for the weaknesses that we had as a team as well. So that was a situation where I went to the staff and said, listen, like I don't think like you'd be foolish to underestimate what he's got. And then funny enough, he scored 10 minutes in. And then from then on, the other 3 games we played him in the year, he's the one player that we need to watch in the scout every single time. And so I think there's an element of, yes, you kind of talk about how the players' qualities, like Pedro said, but sometimes the qualities speak for themselves. Like Pedro did his thing when he played against us, and that forces the hand. I don't have to go to the coaches anymore because he's doing his thing. And now the coaches are aware, and it's not like I don't have to do that extra job, I guess.
For sure. Fire. Okay. Yeah, because I remember like when I would play against my friends that I know at other schools, it's exactly what Pedro described earlier when he's saying, as soon as they take a touch, I'm lifting them. Like, that's my man. I'm lifting them. I don't care if you're my boy. We can have a drink afterwards, but right now I'm lifting you.
Hey, Pedro's cheeky, because he's talking about me trying to smash him, but Pedro's got one in him as well. So don't sit there and be fooled to thinking that Pedro's all this nice guy, all this and that. No, Pedro is a bastard when he wants to be on the pitch.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
No, you gotta like Mourinho said, Gemma, you're the same, bro. You nice guys don't win, you gotta be a cunt, bro. Why do you think I got suspended like fucking 3 times this season, bro?
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh mate, it's
it's
spot
bad.
on. Mourinho, spot on, man. And do you know what's funny is I used that as a pre-game speech once this season as well.
Yeah. No, you have to.
One thing I want to talk about next, just kind of switching topics really quick, is COVID. That COVID time, you came back to the UK. We were in a lot of contact because we were both moved back from America to the UK. And just talking to you at the time, all I can remember is like feeling a sense of frustration from you and like hunger for more. Because I think, and again, I feel like this is the Celebrate Paco podcast, so don't worry, I'm going to give you a bit of banter later. But like, you've completed the USL, right?
Yeah.
You've been Defender of the Year, you'd won the title, and you were just looking for more. You were looking for MLS, and it just wasn't coming for whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
And so talk to me about like that time and why you decided to kind of come back to the UK and, try and figure out if there was a path for you to play league football.
I think every year there was the allure and the pull of coming back to Europe or coming back closer to home. And every year I was near enough getting the same response, which was like, you've not played 1 year in England, so you got to start in Conference South again to work your way up, And every year I'd be getting a year older. I'm like 25, 26, 27. You're not really starting from scratch at 27 and making it all the way up, So it would always end up making me come back to America. And then this was just the final straw because I'd won it twice in a row, the championship in the USL. Then that last year, I still made it to the final, the championship game, and we lost in the final again in that year. And then I had a genuine opportunity to train with QPR, which was amazing. So like I'd actually been able to finally get some connections, and it was one of those networking connections. It wasn't like they needed any centre back and they weren't interested at all. But it was just a chance to go train with QPR, and I was like, I finally was like, I'm done with this. Like, I've had enough. Like, I'm actually I didn't have an opportunity like this before. Even if nothing comes of it, I'm gonna be proud that I took it and I tried my best, you know? So I went and did that to like December 2019 through New Year's Eve, January 2020. And it was supposed to be 5 days, but I fit in immediately with the first team because like I felt alive. I felt like a new person, man. And the level was so sharp, but the options were always there that as long as your touch was good, you could make a pass, you know, as long as you stayed in line with the player next to you, you were in the right shape. So it was like a breath of fresh air, you know? And so I took it in my stride and did well. I proved myself to be good enough. The gaffer there, Mark Warburton, who interestingly has come back around as well. I don't know if you've heard. But he's running the Jacksonville USL team now. I don't know if you guys heard
mate,
that.
I did see
Warburton.
this.
Yeah, it's crazy story. But he's open-minded. I think his son came to America, so he knows about it all. So he was like, hang on a minute, you've actually proven yourself a bit with the lads. The locker room respects you. I'm going to go have a word with the board. And so I was there for 5 weeks, actually, from 5 days to 5 weeks. And I was like, whatever happens here, I've proven to myself, my spirit, that I can play this level at least. And the players respect me. And unfortunately, he said the board come back and it was like, I'm such an unknown entity and they've got a list this long of targets they've been scouting and have information on that it doesn't really make sense for them to even consider me. And they weren't looking for a centre-back. So he helped me go to that League One team, Wickham. And Wickham signed me on a rolling contract because they had no money. So they were giving me like 300 quid a month rolling. But
Who was the gaffer? Was it Gareth Ainsworth?
Ainsworth was there, and they were rocking and rolling too, the team.
Yeah.
So that was like,
guy, isn't he?
he is. He loves it. He was a fan of my, knowing about me and my dad and everything, and he's a proper rock star. And he had the group of boys like on this pirate ship like to victory. So it wasn't easy to fit in with them either, but he was still willing to keep me along because I was good enough again and proving myself. But I was never really going to play or anything. I was, because like they were flying. But after that first month, everything shut down. The whole league shut down, and they just said, "Look, like we don't really have money for you anyway. We don't know what's gonna happen, so we're just gonna keep our guys. And like, so when we do restart again, like, thanks for your service, basically, but we won't help you out." And then after that, I was just spent the rest of the summer not hearing a peep from the whole of Europe because everyone was in chaos. Hundreds and hundreds thousands of players were in my position, but have European experience. So like I was, I basically picked the worst year in history to try and restart my career in a different continent where no one knows about me. And so I had nothing else to do but train my ass off, But even with that, I was frustrated. I was definitely frustrated. I lost the whole year. So I spent my savings, lost the whole year of playing experience. But because of the nature of the situation, you were forced to like stay indoors. You were forced to hit pause. And that pause and not having anything to do and having to stay in home with my family was also ended up being like one of the most transformative moments for me. Like I chose to say, look, like I'm either going to rot here or I'm going to use this as a very, very like powerful moment for my own development anyways. And I was very happy with the way I was managed to spend it and the person I became through that time still. So it was a gift and a curse at the end of the day,
It rounds us into that, you've gone through a terrible time, ups and downs, and then you had a bit of a breakup, right? So like 2023, 2024, team of the year, accolades, clean sheets, all those things. Talk to him nice. That's amazing. Brilliant. So just talk to us a little bit about that 2023 season and obviously being named the team of the year, but like kind of your mentality going into the season and why it kind of worked out for you on the pitch.
Yeah, bro. I think it was accumulation of a few things, Dom. So I think first and foremost, it was I was part of a really good team, and I know that can come across as cliche, Like, yeah, you're saying the right thing, you know. But generally, that's what it was. I went to a team where I knew the head coach. I had a really good relationship with the head coach.
That's
And
McKeever, right?
yeah, I was with Mark McKeever. So I'd played for him for 3 summers and just won a national title with him. So I won the national title with Des Moines, signed for North Carolina. And then my year at North Carolina, I really enjoyed my experience there. I really enjoyed the football. But my thing is like, I think I was 26. And I'm like, hey, I'm 26. I'm back in the game. Like, I want to win. Like, I want to make something like, because listen, we're not driving Mercedes Benzes and BMWs over there on League One. So it's like, you know, I'm in this because I love the game and I want to win. And I felt like at North Carolina, just fair, their objective was to produce youth. So my thing was, I heard Mark was getting it at Knoxville, and I said to North Carolina, like, look, like, I want to go and compete. I want to go and win. And they told me at the time, lads, Jam, you'll probably laugh at this, Dom, I don't know if you'll know. I was like, yeah, right. Like, I've heard that before. You're going to invest. That was the thing. Like, we're going to invest in the team. We're going to invest in the team. And I thought, yeah, right. Like, because some of these, just as a little bit of an insider, lads, some of those younger lads were on, like, wedge. Because they had to give them wedge so they didn't go to D1 schools. Because they were all getting recruited by, like, Wake and Duke and North Carolina. So, like, their thing was like, look, we're going to bring you in here. We'll give you cash because we feel like that you're going to make us cash, right? This new contract thing of like, they'll sell them to a team, and then if they get sold again, North Carolina can make loads of dollars.
Sell on free, yeah.
Right? So, and these lads were good players. They really were. In North Carolina, anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, but I left North Carolina to go to Knoxville because I was like, Mark McKeever, I know what he's like. I'm comfortable with him. And the lads that he was bringing in, I thought we can win with that group. So when I went into Knoxville, it was like year one, brand new team, which again, not a lot of people will be used to. Like in England, it's like when can you think of a single team that's in its first year of existence, right, lads? But obviously in America, that's common. So
happening a lot.
Just a lot of things to deal with, you know. Like haven't got our own training ground, haven't got our own stadium, kind of sharing things. But it was a really good experience. And basically, to answer your question up front, Dom, we had a really good line and a really good goalkeeper. So again, going back to the first way back down the line, Jam, when you talked about like communication stuff, I think another thing that communication does is, and come to yours as well, Dom, about like certain lads that don't talk, you stop playing like here and you start playing as a unit. You stop playing just for yourself and you start playing as a unit. And our unit's probably what we've ended up becoming known for, really. At Knox is like the defensive side of things being hard to score against, and
100%, mate, 100%.
And I think, to be fair, I've just been fortunate where I'm one of the ones that's been thrown in the limelight, because it could have been any of the lads in the back line, because we've built on a really good foundation of becoming hard to play against.
Yeah, and just to touch on that, I think obviously McKeever's not in the role anymore, but that was certainly something that carried over, even when he left the role midway through this past season.
Yeah, man.
It was like, I'm sure that weight and that responsibility fell on you to make sure there were no cracks around you, right? Because,
big time.
Because you lot were the best defensive team in the league for a reason. And obviously when the gaffer goes midway through the year, I don't know if it's ever happened to you, Dom, but it's happened to me. You know, my team was stinking, and then we ended up going 16 games on the bounce. However, for you boys, you were having a decent season. Do you know what I mean? So the wheels could have come off. So I think as a testament to yourself to keep that
was exactly what it was, Jam. And you know what it was? Obviously, it ultimately came down to, it was almost like a double-edged sword, because what was being our success in the sense of, like, you know, clean sheets, being really hard to play against. You know, the ownership at Knox were like, you know, we want more exciting football, which, two faces to every coin, right? You can say, well, hold on, I think we were 4 points off the top. I think we were sitting in third with a game in hand at the time. So we were right there, you know. And I think that whole thing of like, we want more exciting football, we want more goals. Again, you can say, because that's going to bring tickets in America, lads, isn't it?
Yeah,
Ultimately, it's entertainment, right? So that's that, and then the ownership. So the head coach and the ownership kind of had that kind of come together. And I think ultimately what was said was, like, we just want to. They both agreed that maybe there's like if they want to go this way, it's not going to be these two together. It would have to be someone else. So when Mark and the club agreed to part ways, the new coach came in. It was a lad that was playing the year before. And he just said, like, look, like, I'm going to be a facilitator here and try and do the best we can. Because he openly said his sales pitch was, if we win, it's the most likely everyone will get better contracts. And that just became the target. So it was like, right, if be successful and everyone will be sorted. Because again, you've got international lads that are worrying about visas and worried about contracts and partners and all the rest of it. And we just doubled down, I think, with the idea of like, look, if we keep clean sheets, we've got enough quality where we'll maybe nick a goal.
Yeah. And Dom, I don't know if I've ever told you this story, but you talk about goals and you talk about entertainment.
I hear it, Dom. I've been waiting for this. Come on, Jan, get the violin out there.
Let's hear it.
One certain game this year where they happened to score a few happened to be
was the game after Mark and the club parted ways.
So we've come into the game, right? The gaffer and the club have just gone two separate ways. We've come into it and we just won the week before, and we're thinking, right, 2 wins on the bounce here, and we'll start climbing the table. So we've come in and we are on it in the warm up. We are on it. We're thinking, and like you know the pitch that you lads have been playing on the last 2 years. It's a carpet, Dom. It's an absolute carpet.
Unbelievable.
So like we've come from our pitch, like Bobble City, over to like Carpet FC.
Goblin's
right?
Cave to Wembley, mate. That's what it is.
So we're bopping it in the warm up. We are at it, right? Anyway, 3-0 down after 12 minutes.
It was a quick one.
And
by the way, their goalie was having a blinder.
Yeah,
because he saved 2. Like, I honestly got ripped from the lads because I could have had a hat trick. Like, I had one, like, a free kick got whipped in and like fell to me in the box, and I've whacked it, right? And the goalie's just threw himself, tipped it over the bar. So that could have been my first goal. Second one, Kempis, our German lad, put in a great ball, and I've like glanced it with the back of my head. I'm thinking, that's in. Goalie, bottom right, flicks it round the corner. So we get a corner, and then the very next corner, Dom, right? I'm like, right, I'm just going to absolutely laying myself at this, because I'm raging now at this point. I'm like, this keeper's taking the piss, right? I'm just going to throw my entire life at this ball, because it's the big Irish boy marking us as well, and I'm having a bit of banter with him. I'm like, big man, you're going to look at the ball, you're just going to try and kiss me? Like, having a bit of banter with him. All comes in, right? And I remember I seen Goose, and I thought, like, I'm just going to run into Goose. Like, that's what I thought in my head. So I've like just thrown myself. I've felt it hit my head. Don't know where it's going. And I've hit it. The ball's hit my head, and I'm looking up, and it's going right to him on the line. And honestly, Jam, I'm going to be dead honest with you. I just think it hit you, right? Don't even think it hit your arm or out. It maybe hit your arm here. Maybe
right there, mate. Like it where the shoulder and the arm sort of ridge right there.
Dom, I've given it like.
You fucking bellend.
Like screaming. I don't know if that's just come through too loud on this microphone. Like proper screaming. Rescue straight over Dom. Absolute butchers. Get yourself in the shower. Red card. Jam is raging. Absolutely raging. And I mean, like, from the point Jam got sent off.
Oh my God.
It's been a good 2-3 minutes of like the Chattanooga boys being like, what? Like, what's going on? Like, come on, like that's not a red card. The referee's just like, get over there, like whatever. Jam walks to the touchline, and then on the touchline, I think he just thought, right, I'll have one more butchers and see if I can reverse this red card. Takes his foot off, absolutely wallops it off the floor, and walks off. And I'm thinking the whole time, like, oh, I kind of like that. I like Jack. I feel bad now. Feel bad. I felt bad. And then I'm like, we've all been there with the USL 1 refs. Like, that could have been either way.
Do you know the worst thing, mate, right, is
he can give a penalty, right? At the end
Don't
of the day,
send you off.
there's no VAR, right? I haven't punched the ball out. I haven't done anything like
No,
that, and
you
I'm sure we
hadn't,
can
like-
pull up a clip of it. I haven't punched the ball out. I ain't done anything. I've done my job. I've blocked the ball on the line, right?
Aye.
Give a penalty, that's fine, but
Let's get the man in there, shall we?
Brilliant, man. No, but I do honestly, because it was one of those things, right? I think we were 2-0 up at the time. So it was like 2-0 up. Obviously, the lads are obviously frustrated. And then it was a penalty and a red card. And it was like for a very, could have easily not been a red card, right?
Yeah, I think that's
My
the
thing
best
is
way
with
to say it.
referees, lads, right? I always think referees in the head. If you do or don't give it, would anybody complain? So like if they didn't send Jab off, I'm thinking like, don't think it would have been talked about beyond 10 seconds. Do you know what I mean? I'd have probably been ranting and raving to try and get him off. But then it would have been like, right, we've got the penalty done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
So, Jam,
yeah,
what
that was,
did you think? As soon as this hit your arm, do you think, yeah, he's going to send me off there? Like, he's
Oh,
going to be
mate,
busy.
I'll be honest.
No,
Like, I didn't even
was
think,
raging.
I didn't think it was a foul. I thought I'd just done my job and blocked the ball on the line. I'll be completely honest with you. But at the end of the day, I'll go back to that's fine. Like, he's seen it, whatever way. At the end of the day, you're not going to change the referee's mind. But to give a red card for it, that's where I lost my rag. So anyway, like you touch on there, Scouts, where I walked over to the touch line and I've gone back and give it one more. That's because the fourth has come over to our gaffer and said, no, I've got to tell him because he can't send him off. He can't give a double jeopardy. So he can give the pen and he can give you a yellow, but he can't give him a red.
Bit of hope.
Yeah, so then I'm stood there like a fucking knobhead, right? Right, the whole crowd are laughing at me, but the fourth's told me, no, mate, you'll be fine. Just stay there. Go on, just stay there. I'll sort you out. So I'm there thinking, sound, he's going to sort me out here. Ref's come over. He's just booked our gaffer and said, get off. And that's when I've turned around and I've just gone, you fucking this, you fucking that.
You were sticking it on the ref, sticking it on the fourth. Zidane,
I'm so dead.
And I've seen red, mate.
It wouldn't surprise me if the fourth told you that. The refs then went over to the fourth and the fourth went, I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, honestly, I
that's
think
what
he
the
just
refs
said
are
that
like.
to try and get our gaffer on side. But like even the liner, I think the liner got it and he's done fuck all wrong. I think the liner got it. I said, why don't you fucking do something then?
Oh, man, absolutely legend, man.
Oh,
that team at the time, like we had the depth, bro. Like I had a pretty good feeling that we were gonna make it pretty far, but then obviously we got to England, and I mean they're just England, bro. Like yeah.
Soz.
Who did you play against?
Yeah.
Rian went to my school.
Oh, did
They
he?
went to my secondary school and my primary school, so I know him well. And at the time, he was at Chelsea. And then he ended up going, I think at 14 or 15, ended up going to Liverpool. And yeah, obviously he's doing well. He's at Sheffield United now. And yeah, that team that he played in with Foden and Mark Behe and Gibbs White and all that.
And bro, we were praying because in the beginning they had Sancho, and that's when the time he was at Dortmund, he was like cooking, bro. Like so, and then I think Dortmund called him back after the group stage, so we were like, all right, we might have a chance. But then like we didn't know
Hudson-Odoi on the left.
Yeah, bro. And so, like, we didn't know, like, at the time, we didn't know Hudson-Odoi. We just knew Sancho, so we were just like, dude, like, we're about to get cooked, like, you know, whatever. And
Hey,
so, obviously,
let's be honest. Jay's a right back here, and
Yes.
he's thinking, I've got away with one. Sancho's not here, and then Hudson-Odoi rolls up.
Fucking
And so that's what I'm saying. So, like, in the beginning, I'm like, you know, so everyone's looking at me, bro, like, dude, you might get cooked, bro. Like, you know, watch out. And I'm just like, all right, bro, y'all got to say that like that, bro. Like, especially if Sancho's going to come in the final, if we match up with them. Then obviously, like, you know, then I got hurt, and then we ended up playing. We beat Paraguay in the round of 16, and then lost the quarter to England. And then, you know, I remember like Hudson-Odoi watching him. I'm like, look, who's this guy, bro? And then like he was hooking, bro. And then, you know, obviously then he was playing for Chelsea, and then got the link to Bayern or whatever at the time, and like now he's kind of cooking at Nottingham now. But like, dude, he's a good player, bro.
Yeah, he'll go back to a Big Six club very soon.
Sure,
I remember when
for
we
sure.
had Kazaiah on here, and Kazaiah, same as you, like played against all these players that you're talking about when you were similar ages, back when you were teenagers. And it's funny that the first person you mentioned was Hudson-Odoi. The first person that Kaz mentioned was Hudson-Odoi.
Dude,
Like,
so good, man.
Like, honestly, he must have been silly good back in the day.
So
like,
good,
every
man.
single person who played against him, he's the first person that they mentioned. Like, he was a joke.
Yeah, because I mean, you obviously you guys both played. Like, sometimes like you're sitting there like, all right, they got a sub, like the backup or whatever. Like, all right, it's cool, like whatever. I was like, this guy ain't no backup, bro. He came on, I said, this guy ain't a backup, bro. I was like, nah, this guy cooking, bro. This guy's him, bro. I was like, damn.
Yeah, who is Sancho?
Yeah. It's like, you got Sancho and this guy too? Like, bro. Yeah, man. Pull up.
Oh, mate, I can't even imagine. I mean, like, I remember, like, when I was a kid, the best thing I ever saw was Marcus Edwards was either a year below or 2 years below me. And I was at Portsmouth at the time, and I can't remember what age group it was, but I didn't ever get, like, embarrassed by any winger, like, growing up whatsoever. And then, basically, when it was a thing, like, basically, my dad used to get really, he'd get annoyed when I didn't play well, but, like, obviously that was a good thing, because it, like, drilled in, you want to play well every game sort of thing. This game against Tottenham, where I played left back and Marcus Edwards played right wing, was the first game ever where I got that badly embarrassed, right? Like, he nutmegged me, he made me fall over. I was like trying to just like see the ball. It was the first time and the only time ever that I got back in the car with my old man, and he just went like, yeah, fair enough. Like,
He was like, on to the next.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair play. Yes. So good. No worries.
Yeah, I heard.
I still love you.
I heard he was nasty too. Is he still at Lisbon? Still?
yeah, still at Lisbon.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if he comes back to
Yeah.
England soon. 'Cause
remember I saw
every
one
time
game-
he plays against in the Champions League, like he rips
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah, but I say he's cooks, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. Some players. But anyway, if you've made it this far, like Dom said, if you haven't already, click the subscribe button. Go click subscribe. Go follow on the socials at the Backstick Pod. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts, we're there. Okay, but without further ado, from myself, from Dom,
I
Jaylin,
appreciate y'all,
thanks
man.
again for coming on, mate. And from everyone at the Backstick Podcast, we'll see you next week. And thank you for listening.
Peace.